Here are the learning objectives. First, identify the voice of the verb. Differentiate active voice from passive voice. And transform active into passive voice and vice versa. Let us start by defining voices of the verb. Voices of the verb focuses on the function of the subject being either the doer or performer or receiver of the action. To simplify it, it tells us whether the subject is doing the action or receiving the action. There are two classifications, the active voice and passive voice. Let us differentiate the two. Active voice occurs when the subject of the sentence acts as the performer or doer of the action. Let us use this formula as guide. AV stands for active voice, so AV is equal to subject plus verb plus direct object. While passive voice indicates that the subject of the sentence is the receiver of the action. Though it is not always present, the doer of the action is introduced by the preposition by. And for the formula, PV stands for passive voice. PV is equal to subject plus be verb plus main verb plus by plus receiver of the action. Let us have examples. The teachers prepared the materials for their classes. Let's identify the parts of the sentence in an active voice. The subject is teachers, the verb is prepared, and the direct object is materials. Teachers here is the doer of the action. The materials were prepared by the teachers for their classes. Let us identify the parts of the sentence in passive voice using the formula. The subject is materials, the be verb is where, main verb is prepared, then the by, and the receiver of the action is teachers. Now, observe the positioning of those words. Another example, Shania conducts a survey. The subject or the doer of the action here is Shania. The verb is conducts, then the direct object is survey. If we will transform it into passive, it will be a survey is conducted by Shania. The subject now is survey. The be verb is. The main verb is conducted, then the preposition by, and the receiver of the action is Shania. The question now is, how could we transform an active voice into a passive voice and vice versa? In transforming a verb from active to passive or vice versa, take note of the tense of the verb. For the next examples, we will focus with the verbs. Let's start with simple present tense. The students read the module. The subject or doer of the action is students, and the verb is read. Its passive transformation is the module is read by the students. The verb here is added with be verb, which is in a present tense, and the main verb is in participle form. Observe the arrows for positioning of words. The next is simple past tense. Sophia decorated the room with butterflies. The subject or doer of the action is Sophia, and the verb is decorated. It is expressed in past tense. For its passive transformation, it will be the room was decorated by Sophia with butterflies. The main verb decorated in active voice is in past tense, therefore the be verb added in passive voice is also in past tense. Observe the arrows again. Next is simple future tense. The students will submit the report tomorrow. The subject or doer of the action is students. Will is the be verb indicating future actions, and the main verb is submit. The passive voice transformation is the report will be submitted by the students tomorrow. Observe the changes in the verb. The will is retained, added with be, and submit is changed into participle. That's why it became submitted. As again, observe the arrows. Let's proceed with present perfect tense. The school has decided to shut off its operations. The subject in this sentence is school, and the present perfect tense indicator is has with the main verb decided. The passive transformation of this is its operations has been decided to shut off by the school. Notice that been is added to the verb to make it has been decided. Next is past perfect tense. Athena had studied English before she moved to the US. The subject or doer of the action here is Athena. The past perfect tense indicator is had plus the main verb studied. For its passive transformation, it is English had been studied by Athena before she moved to the US. As again, been is added to complete the verb phrase of the passive voice transformation. Last is future perfect tense. Anthony will have baked the cake before he leaves. Anthony is the doer of the action. The be verb will is an indicator that the action will happen in the future. Then have is an indicator of perfect action, and the main verb is baked, expressed in participle. For its passive transformation, the cake will have been baked by Anthony before he leaves. Been is again added to complete the verb phrase of passive voice transformation. Active and passive voices of the verb may also occur in the progressive tense.